our CARE podcast because Corona ain't ruining everything. My name is Tamara Whitney, and as a way to bring you extra content and to get to know some of our speakers and heavy hitters of the California Park and Recreation Society, as well as state leadership, we have set up a limited edition podcast just for you to enjoy at your leisure. So I hope this cast finds you well. If you're watching and listening as the day goes by, or if you've chosen to binge listen to every single episode, we are so glad you're taking the time out of your day, and we hope you enjoy these. Today, we are joined with our Executive Director, Stephanie Stevens. She is the main lady, the woman behind the magic with the California Park and Recreation Society, and it's such a pleasure to speak with her today. Welcome, Stephanie.
Well, thank you, Tamara. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Let's go ahead and dive right on in. I would love for you to share with the membership a little bit about yourself, a little bit about the organization that you work for, in case we don't know. But also, I know that you're relatively new-ish. It's about 5 years now?
Almost 7 already.
Oh, wow.
No, it's crazy. I totally agree.
Yeah. 7 years. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm dating myself.
Time flies.
Share with us a little bit about yourself, especially with the membership, so they understand what you do.
Well, great. Well, as you said, Executive Director here at CPRS, been here, it'll be 7 years in April. I came in 2014, so very excited to still be here. Came from Colorado, as most of you know, and you've heard me say before, and I'm really glad I never have to shovel snow again. I know I say that every time that somebody asks me, but it still remains today. I actually started my career in Parks and Recreation and have worked in a number of different agencies, mostly with older adults. That's really kind of where my heart was. Started, like I said, working with older adults in programming and food services for a while. Stepped away from Parks and Recreation for a while, did some catering and event planning on my own, and really enjoyed that. However, mothers of brides sometimes aren't very nice people, and that just wasn't working well for me. So stepped into the nonprofit world, working with the Colorado Park and Recreation Association, and just found my soul, actually, because I got Parks and Recreation, which I absolutely love and am passionate about, but also the nonprofit management side of the world is really another passion of mine. So here I am today. It's great. Love meeting and being around all of you folks here in California. It's just a great job to have, and I'm very blessed to be here. So thank you.
Did you ever think you would be responsible for the professional organization, like as you were kind of working through your career, or was it something that kind of just landed?
I just really landed there, to be honest with you. So, and that tends to be, I know that tends to happen with Parks and Recreation, that we kind of, it's a discovery major, but then you get the nonprofit side of it in there too. Most of us don't set out to be a nonprofit executive director, but some of us get really lucky that we actually end up being in that. So
very
cool.
So you mentioned a little bit about your background in caring and mothers of the brides, and then you've also mentioned your experience in recreation.
Yeah.
Very different worlds, somewhat similar if you want to see them woven through, but what keeps you interested in the field every day?
It's you. It's people like you. It's the people. Yes, it is you. It's the people. It's the Tamaras of the world who are out there being creative and giving of yourself, and inviting and encouraging all of us to grow and learn, just like doing this podcast. I mean, who would have thought a year ago we'd be doing something like this, right? But we also take opportunities like COVID, and we revamp and reorganize and rethink and reimagine, and that's what's so inspiring. I love being around you and getting to know more and more people who are out there in the communities, taking care of their communities, and that's where I get my energy. Conference is one of those things that just sort of fills you up for the year, and then you work really hard, and then you go to conference and you get filled right back up again. So it really is the people. That's what keeps me engaged. Yeah.
I'm so glad you mentioned about filling up, because even taking time to attend small regional conferences or your district conferences or your section conferences can still fill your cup, and you can't pour from an empty cup.
Absolutely. That is a brilliant statement right there. Yes.
Absolutely.
The quote of the day.
Quote of the day. Let's write that down. What do you think is the most challenging part of your role?
Too many ideas and not enough time to make it all happen.
Yeah.
Is that not, I mean, that,
Enough said.
right?
Enough said.
Yeah,
Period. End of sentence. We can move on. Yeah.
okay.
If you could change something about your role, what would it be?
Too many ideas and not enough time.
Yep.
I mean, really, truly, if there were 10 more hours in a day that we could get 10 more things done for our members, with our members, that would make me incredibly happy. So it's about balance and priorities and making sure that people are participating in the way that they want and need to, and being here for members. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. You've mentioned a couple of these, and there are several sessions during the CARE conference that address this, about stretch opportunities. What do you think prior to COVID, because I feel like COVID isn't one big stretch opportunity, prior to COVID, what was your biggest stretch opportunity or job you were given, and what was the outcome?
Well, I do have to admit this was in the back of my brain, but it really was brought to the forefront with COVID. But it's all around JEDI training. The justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion has been one of those conversations that's kind of been happening on and off for a couple of years now, and has really been brought to the forefront. And I think that's a huge opportunity, not just for our profession, certainly, but also for our organization, because now we're going to look at DEI as it applies to CPRS. Are we being diverse and equitable and inclusive of all of our membership within our organization and what we do, and whether it's awards programs or scholarship programs or the programs and services that we're offering? So I think that's going to be a big stretch opportunity for all of us on many, many levels as we move forward out of this. Equity, diversity, and inclusion training. Heather Billhauer out of CSU East Bay and Brandon Taylor out of CSU Fresno are just doing an amazing job getting out there, starting those conversations, having short workshops, longer workshops. I know that they're putting together some trainings that will be incorporated into Connections Virtual, which will be our virtual conference coming up in March, to really get folks interested and involved in just starting those conversations. I know that's the hardest part, is just taking that first step and starting that conversation around any one of those components, let alone all four of them. So we're very excited about that. We've got a website that's coming live, an online community where people can discuss that with each other, all of the trainings that are happening. And we just want to see where that ends up going. In fact, our next magazine that will be coming out here in the next couple of weeks is all dedicated to JEDI. Great articles in there and some resources for you too that'll be coming out very soon.
And I sometimes, we see it as something that, maybe it's delayed in that it hasn't happened yet, but to be grateful that it has happened now, where so many of our spaces are on pause and so many spaces are waiting to reopen. And how are we going to reopen again? Are we, serving everyone when we're sending out registration? Do we need to reintroduce a paper registration in order to serve those populations that maybe don't have as much internet access as we think that that many people do? And it's been nice to give it some time and to give it some space and reconsider how we can serve it. So
I like how you said that, because you're right. COVID can be a really negative thing, but it also can just be that moment to just sort of pause, like you said, and really rethink and be very intentional in how we reopen and how we restart up some of those programs and services that we're offering with this different lens on. So that's great. I like that.
Can't unsee it anymore. You can no longer unsee it.
Nope. That's right.
And it's time to move forward.
Yeah.
So Stephanie, with that, I'd love to move into some rapid fire questions for you. Some of them are similar to our other panelists. Some of them will be different. It really depends what comes to the top of my head. So Here we go. Rapid fire. On your mark. Get ready.
Okay.
Area of recreation you haven't worked in yet.
Aquatics.
Oh. Favorite restaurant that you've ordered from during shelter in place?
Little Italian place here in Sacramento called Cacio.
Cacio. What's your order?
The pasta alla nortino. It's like a spicy Italian sausage and orecchiette pasta. So yummy.
Delicious. Tacos or burgers?
Oh, tacos all the way.
Pizza or Starbucks?
Probably Starbucks. Venti soy
Pattern,
latte.
venti soy latte. Everyone write that down. Send this woman a coffee. Patterns or solids?
Ooh, patterns.
What color is your toothbrush?
Black.
If I were to walk into your house, what would be the very first thing I would see and notice?
Cooper and Kona, my 7-month-old kittens.
You have kittens.
Yes,
You
yes,
have
they're
kittens.
amazing. We got them in April. They're so fun.
I love it. COVID kittens. COVID
Yeah.
kittens. Fantastic. Stephanie, you have been an absolute joy to speak with this morning. Thank you so much for taking the time. Is there anything else you want to share about the membership? You truly are the heart and the soul of the organization, and you are the consistency. And we are just so grateful for you.
Well, thank you very much. I'm grateful for you all. Thank you for inviting me into your professional worlds, even your personal worlds now, because I've gotten to know so many of you so much better, seeing your living rooms and wherever it
Right?
is you're zooming from. So thanks for allowing me to be a part of your day, and keep up the great work. Just, I know it's exhausting, but you know what? You're doing great things out there, and keep up the great work. Just keep on keeping on. There you go.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Stephanie Stevens, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the time today. To everyone else, thank you so much for enjoying this limited series podcast with the Corona Ain't Ruining Everything conference. It is a pleasure to speak with you, and we look forward to seeing you again for another episode.